Put his ass where he supposed to be. He tried.
What a season he's had.
This film is an unauthorized exploration in the life of Radrick Davis, known by his stage name Gucci Mane. The perspectives presented in this film are independently gathered and do not represent the official views or endorsements of Gucci Mane or 1017 Global Music LLC, his estate, or any associate parties. Thanks for watching the video.
Diagramming the movie made to get free. Just spin a lot. Yes, it just keeps spinning. He does do all of the yoga, ballerina work in the house.
Everything's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been beefing with the hood all my life, you know what I'm saying? But it's like one of the weakest I ever beef with. So it really ain't no problem. I would love to. I don't care. You see me, my wife, you can step to me. I'ma smoke you. You know what's going on with me. Yeah, I ain't gonna tell nobody, not even the police. I don't believe in none of that shit. Only thing I believe in is don't tell the police. Man, hell no, shoot the fuck. Shoot. And then that's when it just like, pow. Then that's when everybody just
Look at his hands. It wasn't like no construction worker.
Born. Gucci has one older brother, and which came from a previous relationship before the mother met Gucci's father.
snitch ass, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to get a no light, dog. Real talk, that nigga.
Even though it was something.
That's when everybody just started running and shit.
We have a witness out there.
Gucci! Gucci!
Man that saw the 5 hit go in. We have a woman that this young lady who he was with said basically she set him up.
Nigga throw your name in that, he's a snitch. That's what he's snitch ass, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to get a no light, dog. Real talk, that nigga.
Even though it was self-defense, do you ever think about that? And you think like maybe I could have handled that different, especially when you did like the diss record.
He needed to be in the ground. Put his ass where he supposed to be. He tried. Somebody comes to you, try to kill you.
Yeah.
You know, self-defense. Mm-hmm. So somebody try to kill you. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
What you gotta do, absolutely.
But then you started smashing his chick, and then he got angry.
Then he went to jail, and you started dating Keisha Dior.
Now I'm gonna go bang his girl.
I had already done that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that was your.
So you banged your partner's girl.
Damn, guy, you ain't my friend, man.
I can't believe he did that. I ain't gonna never be friends ever.
Yeah, he did say
Long
some
as
things
Earth
about your
green,
mom
so-
too. I think that crosses the line when you start.
Yeah.
When you go there.
Yeah, you know, desperate people do desperate things.
Stupid going, dead serious. Real with M's and walking around, you feel me, wearing that shit in their face, you feel me? So I support, we represent the structure. Mayhem, man, you try me, you try to score, you're going a slow, your pick is out, you out, broomstick up. I'm with all that shit. You got the right man.
I promise you, I will never do this again. I will never come back into your court.
Back then, Gucci been about his business though. I ain't gonna eat cap. Gucci always been about his shit though. Nigga know not to play with Gucci since back in the day, and he really like he didn't really fuck with a lot of different niggas, but local niggas, bro. He ain't really fuck with no big niggas in the industry. You know, he used to always move with his local niggas.
The final product that everybody sees of Gucci Mane in 2024 is the complete opposite of what everybody fell in love with back around the early 2000 era where Gucci was running the Atlanta streets. This is when Gucci Mane was a work in progress. Being born Radrick Davis on February 12, 1980 in Bessemer, Alabama, a former coal town turned southwest Birmingham suburb. Gucci's parents were hardworking, being that his father, Ralph Dudley, was a U.S. serviceman and power plant worker, while his mother, Vicki Jean Davis, was a social worker and teacher. According to Gucci, his family came from a strong military background. His granddad on his father's side served in the military for 12 years, and the grandfather on his mother's side served while being stationed in Korea for 2 years. Gucci's parents met in 1978, 2 years before he was born. Gucci has one older brother, and which came from a previous relationship before the mother met Gucci's father. Fun fact, Gucci pretty much was born into the trap mentality, being that Gucci's father was running from the law literally as Gucci was being
look at little Gucci, little Guap
born into the world. his father fled to Detroit, Michigan to hide out. Being that Gucci's father was not present during the birth, Gucci took his mother's last name, Davis. Before moving to Atlanta, Gucci Mane lived with his grandfather at his house, in which the street name comes 1017 First Avenue in Bessemer, Alabama. Gucci's grandfather would later pass due to a heart attack. Now, in the 4th grade, he moved to East Atlanta with his mother and older brother. Not to dismiss the father, Gucci always revealed that he got his street swag from his father. He often described his father as a con man, even adopting the name Gucci from his dad and turning it into his own.
Hold on, before you pay for yet another app to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connect Team, the one platform that replaces
Gucci Mane the flip.
My pop was a hustler, straight up, you know what I'm saying? Up and down, no cut on it. He ain't worked me a day in his life. You know what I mean? You look at his hands, it wasn't like no construction worker hand. You feel me? I already know that when I was a little boy. You feel me? His hands smoother than my mama hand, because she go to work, you know what I'm saying? He straight was hustling, so, and I used to watch that, you know what I'm saying? The reason I came on Slice Entertainment, because for as long as I know, my dad was giving us jewelry. Even if it was a link, rope, herringbone, ring, I lose or whatever. He always had me rocking ice. I felt like I paid homage to him by using his name, you know what I'm saying? They call him Gucci Mane Slim Daddy. And he a hustler, you know what I mean? I definitely am a hustler. And I felt like I was a little better at it than he was. So they made me come on with Gucci Mane LaFleur.
To be honest, like most people in my neighborhood call me Black or Ray. Since I was a child, I've been called Gucci, Lil Gucci, because that's my daddy. That was my daddy's nickname.
Really?
Growing up as a child, I kind of wanted to be known as I wanted to have my own name and my own person. So I always kind of like went away from the Gucci. I wanted to be called Ray. My real name was Raydrick.
Right.
So I would introduce myself as Gucci. Somebody would call me that, but if I meet a girl, I'd say my name was Black or Ray. I would never say my name was Gucci. My grandfather was in the, and he was in too. He was stationed in Italy, and he was fascinated with the Gucci clothes over there. He came back and started calling my dad Gucci and my uncle Gucci. Because one of them Gucci Mane, one of them Gucci Boy, and that was their names for a long time. And then, my father just kept the nickname and it passed on to me.
According to Gucci Mane, and in his book, The Autobiography of Gucci Mane, he says his first taste of street life was dealing drugs with his older brother. He says during one particular holiday, it was the first time he got a taste for selling real hard drugs. His mother had given him $50 for Christmas. In return, Guwap went and purchased crack himself. Years later, Gucci had his first run-in with the law in 2001. Days after being kicked out of Georgia Perimeter College, Gucci was behind bars for trying to sell to an undercover cop. Ultimately, he was sentenced to 90 days in the county jail and then probation. Throughout Gucci's career, he had a lot of street beefs, and one of his first beefs was with a rapper by the name of Young Jeezy. The beef started from making music together, then subliminal messages around the city of Atlanta, to having several diss tracks back and forth between Gucci and Jeezy. Oh, and then you can't forget one of Jeezy's associates, who allegedly they're saying that Gucci Mane himself. May of 2015, the song So Icy was an instant hit. So much that Jeezy figured the song would be featured on his debut album, Let's Get It Thug Motivation 101. But instead, Gucci used that same song for his first independent album, Trap House. Nevertheless, the song peaked at 46 on Billboard's hip-hop charts. Good for Gucci Mane's pockets, since this was on his album and him being an independent artist. But this was bad for Jeezy, in which he insists that Gucci never paid him for that feature at all. The streets was buzzing, not only about the beef, but the diss track that Young Jeezy released a month after So Icy was released. The song Stay Strapped had a lyric directed straight towards Gucci Mane. It says, I got a bounty on that 10 stacks. So if you come to your town and you just happen to snatch that off his neck, I'm going to shoot you 10 stacks so I can cremate them. Now, Guwap responded quickly with the diss track himself entitled Round 1. Now, in the song, Gucci Mane says, that Jeezy man, fake. Gucci prepared himself for a lengthy battle by declaring in the chorus, this is round 1 of Gucci Mane versus Jeezy.
So, what's got you feeling that way, man?
She be doing a little shit, you know what I'm saying? She do, you know what I mean? Like a little
All right. So where's all that coming from? Because, I mean, y'all had the song together. It seemed like the relationship was going along pretty all right. You know, y'all both repping the A.
I thought it was a real man, but you know, it was carbon copy, man. And Oreo.
All right. So what really was the beginning of the end and make you feel this way that you feel right now?
Tried to get my song on his album, and I think he couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Just came out of it.
So what he started doing exactly?
You know, just making dish records. Going on the radio saying little shit. You know what I'm saying? Pop to niggas and shit.
Was he doing that in Atlanta or in markets that you might not have been in?
He was going to markets I ain't been in yet and do a show before I get there and tell them don't buy my record when it come out.
You actually heard that cats was saying like, don't buy Gucci out.
I seen it on videotape. So that what made me just flip out like this.
Okay. So now, what was the first time you heard a diss record from Jeezy?
I was doing a show in in Tampa, Florida, and while I was riding out, we heard it on the radio.
But so, like, did that feel like it kind of came out of nowhere? Like, yo, what the f is going on?
No, actually, I anticipated. You know what I'm saying? But still, I got, you know what I mean? I got to handle it. Everything's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been beefing with the hood all my life. You know what I'm saying? But it's like one of the weakest I ever beef with. So it really ain't no problem.
Man, you know, we ain't never had no relationship, man. Dude was a boy, man. You know what I'm saying? I really don't like to be compared to that nigga, man, because, like, I'm like a VHS, homie. You can rewind me back. Everybody in the city know me, dog. Like, this nigga, you know, basically, I did another nigga favor, dog, you know, and the nigga is a fucking neck at a barbecue, dog. The nigga, he trying to get some shine, man. He can't get no shine out of me. I'm a boss, dog. He's an artist, you know what I'm saying? And, like, you know, as far as the streets concerned, you know, I really don't like to speak on shit, man.
Stop scrolling if your smile is suffering. Have you
Easy to
experienced
snow,
any dental
man.
issues since starting Suboxone? Look, if you've been taking Suboxone and suddenly...
I mean, real talk, in a nutshell, my it ain't no beef, because I know I'm out every day. If you want to see me anytime, he come see me. And while y'all let it tell that quit calling my phone, copy uses, man, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? We straight, homie. And as far as the other shit concerned, you know, I just really don't like it throwing my name and all this to sell records. That's a whole move. For any hood know if you get in any type of trouble, you can throw your name in that shit. He's a snitch ass. That's what he is, a bitch ass, snitch ass, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to get it no light, dog. Real talk. In a nutshell, it was never no beef. We never had any words about it.
Shout out to everybody in the A too, man. The A fuck with this page, dog. Atlanta really fuck with this page, man. Shout out to everybody in the A.
Song, you know what I'm saying? Then just somebody got in the ear and told me, look, you want to come up, this is what you got to do. And all that popping off, what he doing, talking about what he doing, renting cars. The only thing I ever rented was some jet skis in Cancun, 93. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Got me f***ed up. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I don't like to clown them, but come on, man, this little that have on the ice. When we did ice, he was the run around my sessions, dirty t-shirts and dirty shoes, begging to get on it. It's the song, and he flipped. You know, I tell them, you know what I'm saying? When you earn something, and it's real to you, that's what you do. You earn it. You know what I'm saying? I earn that shit. That's why I take it so real. You know what I'm saying? He lucked up, got a song, got on. Now you want to talk crazy. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. That ain't how I go.
Literally days after, Gucci Mane almost lost his life. According to the reports, 4 men broke into the house of a female and began to put hands on Gucci Mane. According to the rumors, the robbery was intended for Gucci Mane's iced out ice cream cone charm. In the midst of the whole ordeal, Gucci allegedly grabbed one of the robbers' weapons and started to shoot back, hitting one man. Once the shots were fired inside the apartment, everyone fled the scene.
He's had to defend his life last week, and now he has to defend his freedom.
He's not going to say anything, okay? First suspect, and I'm his lawyer, and I'm not going to say anything. Basically, what happened, to make a long story real short, he visited a young lady, went over to her place. She was there, he was there. At one point, she opened up a door. 5 guys come running in.
Are y'all seriously sending 5 people in the house to try to kill me?
One of them had green tape. One of them had a weapon. One of them had brass knuckles and hit him with brass knuckles. Didn't hit him real hard, had him wrapped up. Another guy had a weapon, hit one of the other guys with a weapon. It became a situation where he defended himself. Somebody yelled, one of the other 5 guys yelled, shoot him, something to that effect. He grabbed a gun that was nearby and he opened fire to defend himself. There's just him and a girl in there, and 5 guys came in there to hurt him. So basically, he defended himself. From what I talked to the detective indicated he was set up. We have an independent witness I tried to give to the detective. The detective basically doesn't want a whole lot more information. We have a witness out there, a man that saw the 5 men go in. We have a woman that this young lady who he was with said basically she set him up. We're not sure of all the other facts yet.
This is life for my artist. This is life for me, the life of his project. And it's not just Gucci Mane who's at stake right now. It is Big Cat Records. It is hip hop industry as a whole. It is the consumers of music and the people who look up to these rappers. This is a serious matter.
Somebody got, you feel me, and ran into a house and tried to. Gucci, and Gucci just got out of there with his life over hype, over rep.
The man who was hit, government named Henry Lee Clark III, known to the music and street world as Pookie Loc. The artist had a heavy affiliation with Young Jeezy. Reports say Pookie Loc was later found at a nearby school in Decatur, Georgia.
Do you feel like it was a setup because cats came like after you, like they was coming to get you?
Yeah, I think it was a setup.
Do you have any indications on who it might be? Have you heard anything on the streets? Just whatever you feel in your own heart?
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, ain't too many people got the motive to do something like that. I just like a detective, learn, you know what I'm saying, look at the motive, who has motive to do it. And this has motive.
Jeezy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight up.
So it's real serious then when we talking about like actually trying to like set somebody up to take someone's lives. It's on a whole nother level. It's past just the wax.
It's like I guess they're scared of competition. You know what I'm saying? I'm independent. He major. What the hell you beefing with me for?
Independent, but I'm balling like a major artist.
Your competitors will wish they had known about Vibe. With Vibe, you can launch targeted.
A man that was with Gucci Mane during the incident explained an untold story on No Jumper's website, claiming that the woman set the pair up, being that she stopped at a gas station just before arriving to her residence.
We both slick, like kind of knew, bro.
That she was shady?
Yeah, cause we stopped at a store first. Stopped at a motherfucking store first, bro. I goes in the store. The ain't even in the fucking store. She in the bathroom. But it don't ring no bell yet. It don't ring no bell yet because we don't see how close she stay from the store. Boom, 2 blocks, we at her crib. But it's still not making no sense. It's a living room right here. It's a hall. I'm sitting down. I'm right here first. He right there. All of a sudden, goddamn. It was just so quick. As soon as I seen it, boom, he hit me. We kind of fought back, kind of. Man, hell no, nigga, shoot the fuck. Shoot. And then that's when it just like, pow. Then that's when everybody just started running and shit.
During a phone call interview from jail, Gucci Mane admitted that he was upset, he was scared a little, but he had to do what he had to do. He says that he had remorse for everything that happened that night.
Even though it was self-defense, do you ever think about that? And you think like maybe I could have handled that different, especially when you did like the diss record?
He needed to be in the ground. Put his ass where he supposed to be. He tried. Somebody comes to you, try to kill you, you know, and self-defense. Mm-hmm. So somebody try to kill you, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do, absolutely.
May 24th, Gucci Mane posted a $100,000 bond for that charge. 2 months after being free in July of 2005, Gucci Mane is arrested again, this time in Miami for an aggravated assault, which occurred earlier that month. The altercation involved a club promoter visiting Big Cat Records, the label that Gucci was signed to. The promoter claimed that the argument ensued between him and Gucci when he turned his back on Gucci. This is when Gucci struck him with a pool stick and continued to strike him once he fell to the ground. Gucci's lawyer claimed that the rapper wasn't involved in that incident that night. Gucci pled no contest to the charges. He was found guilty of aggravated assault with a weapon for the incident, and was charged for 6 months in prison, and he will remain on probation for 6.5 years. He also agreed to pay medical bills for about $3,000. While sitting in jail for that Miami arrest, January of 2006, Gucci Mane learned that charge for Pookie Loc was dropped because of self-defense, and an eyewitness backed up his claim. Now it's rumored that the landlord to the building seen the whole thing go down. Guwap was free.
We hear you're going to have a news conference tomorrow.
Not only did this case elevate Gucci Mane to another level, the streets in the industry started to look at Gucci like a real gangster who just happened to rap. Now, while Gucci was fighting this case, both him and Jeezy kept the G code and kept everything quiet. Only a year after this went down is when Gucci started to talk about Jeezy again. This time during a freestyle called 745. Gucci spoke on his decision to fight back against his attackers in 2005. One of the lyrics said, "I smell, nah, that's Jeezy. You ain't no snowman. You're more like a snowflake, cupcake, cornflake, two-fake." Now, the next run-in with the law was in 2007. Gucci Mane was accused of robbing a close associate after a night out on the town. According to the incident report, the police responded to a robbery that occurred 7 hours prior. The victim stated that tension started earlier that day before he attended a show with the rapper Gucci Mane. After the show, the victim, Mr. White, and Gucci Mane got into a physical altercation. So bad that the victim had to take a cab home from Columbus, Georgia, back to Atlanta, Georgia. The ride cost the victim $200. The following day, the victim says Gucci Mane showed up to his house and knocked on his door. The victim thought Gucci was there to apologize. Instead, Gucci Mane allegedly became fidgety and then pulled out a weapon on the victim and stated, "If you ever try me like that again, now give me what you got," taking the victim's $400 and pulled off in his infamous white Hummer. Now, September of 2008, Gucci Mane was arrested for only completing 25 hours out of 600 required community service hours from that 2005 assault case. The probation violation led to 6 months of incarceration at the Fulton County Jail. He went to jail and would serve time until March of 2009.
Judge said, judging by his record, Radrick Davis, otherwise known as Gucci Mane, is not a worthy candidate for probation. So the judge decided to end a portion of his probation and send him to jail. Fulton County Superior Court Judge John Gogurt decided to revoke 1 year of Radrick Davis's 3.5 years of probation on an assault charge. That means the rapper known as Gucci Mane will have to serve that 1 year in jail. The judge made that decision after hearing Davis has only completed about 25 hours of the 600 hours he was ordered to perform 2 years ago. It also didn't help Gucci Mane when prosecutors mentioned that he violated the terms of his probation by drinking alcohol and doing drugs.
Did the defendant admit using to you?
Yes, sir, he did. And
Just before the judge revoked part of Davis's probation, he asked the rapper if he had anything to say. Gucci Mane told the judge he'd performed community service by speaking to children at schools and events, and that he was sorry that the unapproved appearances weren't properly documented.
I promise you, I will never do this again. I will never come back into your courtroom. I just have one chance.
Are you ready to take your content to the next level? Going live on TikTok isn't just fun, it's a game changer. Imagine reaching millions.
And of course, he didn't get that chance in part because Davis was given a chance to avoid a probation revocation back in 2006, and also because he was arrested in Henry County in July for possession, driving under the influence, and being in possession of a weapon by a convicted felon. Live at the Fulton County Courthouse, Tom Jones, Channel 2 Action News.
November of 2009, Gucci Mane would be back in court for another probation violation, and he left in cuffs. He would have to serve time until May of 2010. While in jail, his major label debuted The State vs. Radrick Davis. It was released December 8th through Warner Brothers Records the next month.
I'm the defense attorney telling him how to write out the sentence. That's so wrong, sure. You know, the one who makes your opinion cold. Yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's the case of the state of Georgia versus Radrick Davis. My name is Jesse Law. Mr. Davis, you
It states the same thing. Just based on what the criminal history of Mr. Davis, we must ask for him.
I asked him and confirmed that there was no attempt to serve him at a studio, at a residence. Accordingly, was confirmed there was no holds. Contacted fugitive, knowing from doing this for a while, of information about my client, I do want to say that I have a community service letter from somebody with the Atlanta Public Schools that I'll tender. I'll show council. I'll tender to Your Honor if I can approach. Whatever that is, we're just asking that the bond, their bond be set. I never asked for an amount. That's not my job. My job is to ask for bond. The conditions I leave in the courts with the court's discretion.
Well, in the exercise of my discretion, I understand your position, Mr. Finley, but this gentleman does have an aggravated battery.
Back on the streets in November of 2010, Gucci Mane was arrested again. An off-duty officer noticed a white Hummer driving recklessly on the North Side Drive and reported the vehicle. When the officers finally caught up with the vehicle, Gucci and an unnamed man were arguing outside a body shop. The officers attempted to intervene. Gucci ignored them and then punched the man he had a dispute with, eventually leading them to pepper spray the rapper. He will be booked under various charges, including damage to government property, obstruction, driving without a license, reckless driving, running a red light or stoplight, failure to maintain a lane, driving on the wrong side of the road, and the charges were eventually dropped, but he still risked violating his probation. A special plea of mental incompetence was filed in the courtroom, claiming he was in no state to fight with prosecutors.
Hey, I got I got a statement prepared. I want to speak to y'all about. First and foremost, I would like to thank my legal counsel, the White Thomas and Michael Holmes, for the excellent representation, as well as my labor child and mourners of the brothers who are sticking me to my situation through my time. Most importantly, I want to thank all of my fans for their support while I have been away. The love and the words of encouragement helped me make it through. None of my success would be possible without you. I have made some mistakes in my life and hurt a lot of people with that. I worked very hard to get past. Those mistakes have brought me to where I am today. That will not be repeated. These past 6 months have been a difficult time. Unfortunately, I have learned a great deal from my experience. I was able to do a great deal of soul searching. I'm coming out with a new attitude toward life. Unfortunately, my incarceration also came at a critical point in my career. This is my first major label album dropping. I was forced to miss what should have been one of the proudest moments of my life. This is something I will make sure never happens again. My time to deal with triumph. I grew from it and I'm not stronger and a better person. I want to continue on the positive track and truly focus on being a role model to my fans and my community. I'm looking towards the future with a newfound respect and appreciation for the life and a strong dedication to my music and my career. With that in mind, I have already begun to make positive strides towards the future. I've launched a new label, 1017 Bourgeois Records, affiliation with Silent Warner Brothers Records. Now I'm working with a new team. I'm looking forward to getting back to business and start making hits. I'm extremely excited about my new album, The Appeal, which will be dropping at the end of this summer. Over the course of 2010, 1017 Bourgeois Records, we released an album from my artist, Flock Flame, as well as my group Blue Squad, which features Walter, OJ the Juice Man, and myself. In July, we're getting out on a nationwide tour and games across the country and continue the movement. Finally, a lot of things happened while I was away. I'm back to address these things. The rap game is in need of substance right now, and I'm here for the streets right on time. I can't wait to show the world why I feel that now that I'm free, ironically, I'm the most wanted man in Georgia. I'm hungry for success and ready to compete, so may the competition begin. I set out 5 years ago to be the #1 rapper in hip-hop. Today that journey continues with an even sharper focus. I challenge all artists to put out the best music they ever made this summer. I want to sell nothing less than victory, but I still want worthy opponents. To everyone who is there, thanks for y'all support.
Now, next month, Gucci Mane went to jail again. This was during a raid at Waka Flocka's home. Waka wasn't there, but the officers found Gucci Mane. They cuffed him and took him into custody, but he was eventually released without any charges.
New at 5, Henry County Police raided a popular rap artist's home in the Eagles Landing subdivision and arrested 2 people on weapons and marijuana. charges. Channel 2's Eric Phillips is live in Henry County with information he just confirmed with police. Eric.
Linda, within the last hour, we confirmed with Henry County Police that the home they raided here in this subdivision behind me around 7 this morning is that of popular local rap star Waka Flocka Flame. Henry County Police went to the home on Bayberry Hills here in the Eagles Landing subdivision. Inside, they found a small amount of drugs and 2 handguns. We have been told that though Waka Flocka, whose real name is Jaquin Malfers, lives at the home, he rents it from someone else. We also understand that popular rapper Gucci Mane was also at the home at the time of the raid and that he was detained for a short time and then later released. 2 men have been arrested so far. Police say they are looking for a third person at the time of the raid. Apparently, Waka Flocka was not at home. Live in Henry County, Eric Phillips, Channel 2 Action News.
January of 2011, the Superior Court of Georgia's Fulton County ordered Gucci Mane to a psychiatric hospital due to the mental incompetence filing. The judge ordered that Gucci Mane is transported to a 111-bed psychiatric and a chemical dependency treatment facility. He will undergo tests to determine his mental health. He was sent to the Anchor Hospital on January 13th. A few days after being released, this is when Gucci Mane got that infamous ice cream tattoo on his face. According to Guap, he says at the time, the tattoo represented how he lived his life. Ice cold. Now, in an interview in the Morning Hustle, as of recent, the Atlanta rapper admitted that if he could do it all over again, he wouldn't have got that particular tattoo. He says, I wouldn't take credit for starting the trend, but I think I definitely made people think it was something cool to do, he said. I was going through something when I did it. If I could do it all over again, I probably wouldn't have done it. People don't know the backstory to that. I wasn't in a healthy space at that time. That was just something sporadic I did.
Step into Wix Studio, the platform for agencies and enterprises. Kick off projects. In
April of 2011, Gucci was arrested while visiting his parole officer for an incident where he pushed a woman out of a moving vehicle in January. Now, the lady name was Miss Graham. She advised that she was at the South DeKalb Mall on 2801 Chandler Road waiting for the beauty store to open near Conway. Miss Graham was approached by a male in a white Hummer who introduced himself as Gucci. Gucci asked if she wanted to get breakfast. She agreed to go. She got in his vehicle, and Gucci later stated that he was the rapper Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane turned westbound on I-20 from Chandler Road, but exited on Flat Shoals. Miss Graham asked what he was doing and where was he going. Gucci Mane stated that he wanted to go to a hotel and he would give her $150. Miss Graham refused and stated, just take me back to the mall. I can make my own money. Gucci Mane leaned over to Miss Graham and opened the passenger door and pushed her out of the vehicle while it was still in motion. The vehicle was westbound on Brandon Road. Gucci Mane shoved Miss Graham several times in the side and shoulder area, attempting to get her out of his vehicle. The vehicle left the roadway on 2014 Brandon Road. Gucci was able to push Miss Graham out of the vehicle, which was still moving. Ms. Graham had redness on her left side/back area. Metro 6 responded and transported Ms. Graham to the AMC with complaints of soreness and pain.
These pictures were taken by DeKalb County Sheriff deputies who arrested the rap star while he was visiting his probation officer. He was transported to the DeKalb County Jail where he was booked in and will wait for a probation hearing. The incident he is charged with happened on January 28th, according to an incident report from the DeKalb County Police Department. According to the report, Gucci Mane picked up a 36-year-old woman at South DeKalb Mall in a white Hummer after he asked her if she wanted to go to breakfast. But eventually the woman realized they were headed somewhere else. And according to the report, Gucci Mane stated he wanted to go to a hotel and that he would give her $150. The woman refused, and while the car was moving along Brandon Road, the report says Gucci Mane opened the passenger door and pushed the woman out of the vehicle.
Just kind of like, like a face palm kind of thing. He's like, what? He pushed somebody out of a moving car? Yo, you about to be like...
That wasn't true. That was a lie.
Fabricated.
Come on, Gucci. That's cheap, though, man. 150? Oh, man. That's crazy. That's crazy, my boy.
Yeah, that was great. A lie. I ain't pushing nobody in no car. It's just false. So it ain't even nothing about that, and nothing about that was true. But all the other stuff you saying, If you see somebody got a blessed opportunity and they keep fumbling the ball, you're supposed to be like, what's up with them?
Right.
You know, if somebody else had the opportunity, they would have appreciated it. So I get it.
On September 13th, Gucci was sentenced to 6 months in the county jail after pleading guilty to 2 counts of battery, reckless conduct, and disorderly conduct. He will only serve 3 months for good behavior and was released on December 11th. Diana Graham sued and won her settlement for an estimated $58,000. The Yo Gotti beef. Now, same as Jeezy, Gucci and Yo Gotti were musical collaborators at one point in 2012. The pair dropped 2 mixtapes, the definition of a G mixtape with DJ Drama and the G mixtape with Trapaholics. But the friendship will be short-lived. October of 2012, Gucci Mane was gearing up to release his mixtape Trap God, which was set to be released October 17th, 2012. Of course, the numbers being 1017, which represented his record label and the place he grew up in Alabama. In a disrespectful way, or at least how Gucci viewed it, or how he took it, Yo Gotti was releasing his mixtape on the same day, CM7, The World Is Ours. Word got around that Gucci was upset and not feeling the move by Gotti. In return, Yo Gotti reached out to Gucci Mane and eventually got on good terms. Out of respect, Gotti moved the release of his album one day back to 10/18. But
I don't know why it was a problem, because both of them boys was hot at that time. They both was doing numbers. They both was, you know what I mean, up and coming. Them boys was hot, both of them.
Gucci being Gucci, he never got over that move. Now, Yo Gotti didn't even know it was smoke until Gucci released a diss track which mentioned Yo Gotti. Now, the lines was, I used to F with Gotti till he turned into a buster. Gucci Mane says he lost respect for Gotti, and in return, Yo Gotti says he was disappointed in Gucci for his antics. To add fuel to the fire, it was rumored that Yo Gotti had a relationship with who is now Keisha Dior, Gucci Mane's baby mama and current wife. You see, at the time, Gucci Mane was dealing with a huge lean addiction, and on top of that, mental health issues. So the rapper went on one of the biggest Twitter rants, where he exposed his friends, especially Waka Flocka, who was Gucci's personal goon turned rapper. Waka Flocka was signed to Gucci at the time.
Gucci Mane was dissing everybody at that time. He dissing everybody. Ross, Yo Gotti, Waka Flocka, T.I. He dissing everybody.
I'm of the rat. Now on the Twitter rant, he says, tell her interdiction my in her throat. I moved that bitch to Atlanta. She was sleeping in the car. I pulled that off Wayne bus. Me and Waka was hitting Nicki Minaj. That's nothing. F Jeezy, Tip, Gotti, Waka, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Wu, Frenchie 2 Chainz, Coach K, Kior, Eminem, OJ, Rock, Quavo, Takeoff, everybody. Now, I'm not just born rich. I wake up real and go to sleep real. It's as effortless as breathing. And rappers are strippers, gossiping, but fake as hell. I swear to God, me and Scooter, the last real authentic street left. How do y'all let these suckers trick y'all? Baffles me. It's easy for me. Everyone in the industry has a hidden agenda. Every person let greed and pride conquer them. It's sad, but I've been in jail so much it humbled me. Then he said, name your top 3
subscribe, like, and comment. Subscribe, like, and comment.
Rappers. Mine's Jeezy, Yo Gotti, and Tip. No brainer, but there are hundreds of more.
That nigga Gucci say him and Walker was flipping Nicki Minaj. That's when Debbie was managing Nicki. I don't know how true it is. That's alleged now. That's alleged. I don't know how true that is. So
really didn't get into the disses with the public. Gotti was more of a sneak disser when it came to guwap. Now, during a Breakfast Club interview, Gotti admitted to the interviewers that he did sleep with Gucci Mane's girl when Gucci Mane was in jail. Gotti's excuse was he didn't know Gucci Mane was in love with her like that. Outside looking in, Gotti won the battle without saying all too much.
Man, the first time Gucci ever tweeted me, I was in the studio. Somebody sent it to me, and I called his phone like 6 times in a row. He answered probably like on the 6th one. On like the 6th.
How did Gucci answer the phone? What did he say? Her?
Wow.
Who did? I thought you asked me for a chick. I thought you were smashing his chick or something.
Oh man, like in home, like he didn't even speak about what he tweeted. He was like, "Oh man, you put Jeezy and Tip on the Rex remix. Jeezy tried to kill me." I'm like, "What?"
But then you started smashing his chick, and then he got angry
Then he went
again.
to jail, and you started dating Keisha Dior.
Now I'm gonna bang his girl.
There they
I had
go.
already done that.
Oh,
There they go.
Yeah.
But that was
so
your.
you banged your partner's girl?
Damn, guy, man. You ain't my friend, man.
But that was your girlfriend, though, right? Wasn't that like?
Guy said, "Emmy, my partner." Oh, I didn't know that was your wife.
I didn't know that. But, like, I didn't know that. I didn't know, like, you know, like you in love and all that.
Yeah,
like,
I got you.
Come on, man. You know how the game go.
As of making this video, the two are still not cool or on speaking terms. Another beef that went right after the Yo Gotti beef was Waka Flocka, who was a protege to Gucci Mane, real close with Gucci Mane. Before the public heard about it, allegedly Waka Flocka and Gucci Mane wasn't seeing eye to eye. But in 2013, the issues came to a head and the public got to watch the beef with front row seats. During another viral Twitter rant, Gucci announced on his page that he was dropping Waka Flocka from his label. He said, Waka Flocka Flames officially dropped from Brick Squad 1017. Big Guwap said, give me an offer for this disloyal little guy. Flocka replied, somebody tell Gucci Mane to SMD. A week later, Waka Flocka spoke in an interview saying he had no beef with Gucci Mane, but they just had two different goals. They're going in their own routes respectfully. Now, during a breakfast interview with Waka Flocka, he says Gucci Mane became jealous of his own protege. He said, it was when I started going on tours, when I started buying different cars, I'm not leasing nothing. Start buying jewelry, Gucci's conversation changes with me, who admits at one point he wanted to put grown man hands on Guwap. He continued on to say, if I catch him, it's going digital. I don't want to harm him. I just want to slap him a few times. Like a little brother. Gucci lost his noodles. People we think he's a gangster, but he really needs medical attention.
It just seems he going at everybody that he was ever friendly with.
Yeah, like me and Walker hit this from the back and the front. I'm like, yo.
So did you knock off Nicki Minaj?
Nah, man. Y'all, the world would have known, man. She's too popping. I can't believe he did that. We ain't gonna never be friends ever.
Yeah, he did say
Long
some
as
things
Earth
about your
Green is
mom
over.
too. I think that crosses the line when you start.
Yeah.
When you go there.
Yeah, you know, desperate people do desperate things. Man.
HoneyBook completely changed how I do business. I'm a photographer and independent business. It's a fact.
Man, Gucci lost his noodles, man. People just think he's gangster and how he really need medical attention, man.
The next month, Gucci Mane filed for a lawsuit against Waka Flocka and his mother. Now, Waka Flocka's mother was Gucci Mane's manager previously. Now, in the federal lawsuit, Gucci Mane accuses the mother and son of fraud, racketeering, theft, and the breach of contract. The lawsuit claims Waka Flocka violated his contract and Waka Flocka's mother took control of Gucci Mane's label without the approval of Gucci. It was reported that Gucci sued the pair for millions of dollars. Now, that same month, Gucci ran into another legal issue, March of 2013. The Atlanta police issued a warrant for Gucci Mane's arrest after allegedly attacking a fan for attempting to get a picture with him. James, a soldier in attendance at the Harlem nightclub, was speaking to Gucci Mane's security guard outside of VIP. They were talking about snapping a picture with the artist when Gucci Mane attacked him with a champagne bottle. The bottle left him with a deep gash that was treated at the Grady Memorial Hospital. He needed 10 stitches and suffered from a concussion and bad headaches.
He says he was stunned when Davis reacted violently to his request.
I fell in the shock of why one of his friends hit me in the side of my face.
James went to Grady Hospital by ambulance where he got 10 stitches. According to this promotional flyer, Gucci Mane was at the club promoting his new mixtape. Davis has been arrested several times. This video shows him in court in 2011 after DeKalb police said he pushed a woman out of a moving car.
We do have an actual active warrant for Mr. Davis for aggravated assault.
Now, Lieutenant Jeff Canton says Atlanta police are looking for Davis.
That is dangerous because if there was to be any other fan or trying to get to approach him, ain't no telling what else he might do to them.
James says he has a concussion and is suffering from bad headaches.
He could have prostituted me. I just hope and pray that I recover pretty well because I still want to further my military career.
It wasn't until that very end of the month of March that Gucci tuned himself in for aggravated assault charges. He was denied bond and appeared in court April 10th, where he was indicted for 1 count of aggravated assault. 2 days later, he posted a $75,000 bail, but he wouldn't be free for long. The next day, he was arrested for violating his parole. It will be 3 weeks before he was released. On and just after midnight on September 14th of 2013, Gucci is arrested near an intersection of Moorhead and East Confederate Avenues by police responding to a call from a friend who had grown concerns about his erratic behavior. According to the police report, as officers arrived on the scene, Gucci grew increasingly agitated, yelling and cursing and threatening police. At one point, even telling the responding officers that he would hit them up. Gucci is searched and found a clear baggie of tree, a loaded .40 weapon in his right jean pocket. An EMS team sedated him and took him to the Grady Hospital, where he was charged with disorderly conduct, felony in possession of a firearm, possession of a controlled substance, and carrying a concealed weapon without a license. He spent the night in Grady Hospital for psychiatric evaluation before being transferred to the DeKalb County Jail. It was about 2 weeks later, it was announced that Gucci would be charged with possession of a convicted felon, disorderly conduct, carrying a concealed weapon, tree possession, and a probation violation. 2 months after, Gucci was indicted by the federal grand jury for 2 counts of possession by a felon. Stemming from that night on Moorhead Avenue, he was also indicted 2 days earlier when the police responded to a disturbance at the office of Gucci Mane's attorneys, Drew Fining, where they found a loaded .45 Taurus among Gucci Mane's things. Gucci Mane claimed that the weapon belonged to his girlfriend, who was not on the scene. No charges were filed at that time, but the feds picked it up. On December 3rd, 2013, Gucci Mane is arraigned in the federal court for those 2 weapons, carrying a maximum sentence of 10 years and $250,000 for each fine. Now, while sitting in federal jail for 5 months after, on May 13th, 2014, Gucci Mane pled guilty to the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, awaiting the trial in the federal case. On August 10th, 2014, the U.S. District Judge Steve Jones sentenced him to 39 months in federal prison with the credit for time served. On September 15th, 2014, Gucci received an additional 3-year sentence in Fulton County's jail for pleading guilty for that aggravated assault stemming from the incident where he hit the military guy with the bottle over his head. So Gucci was away to do those 39 months in federal prison. Now, on May 26, 2016, Gucci Mane was released from the federal prison and hit the ground running. Within 24 hours of getting released, the rapper released the song First Day Out the Feds. Now, one of the first visuals of the rapper in his newfound physique. His first post on social media was in all white, telling the fans he was home and he was there to celebrate the Memorial Weekend.
Are you worried that using your home address for business puts your privacy at risk? At iPostal One.
That boy Gucci went to prison, got ripped. That boy Gucci went to prison, got ripped. That boy came out looking like a bodybuilder, boy.
It's up. You a free man, baby. Talk to your fans, honey.
Happy Memorial Day weekend. Thank you to my fans. Appreciate my lady.
Love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. First day out.
First day out the feds. Appreciate y'all support on that.
We heard it on the radio everywhere. That's dope.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Shout out to the Breakfast Club for premiering it too.
That's beautiful. Shout out to everybody.
All right, now. We going swimming or what? The water look nice.
Mm-hmm. Almost immediately after, fans thought Gucci Mane was a clone. The rapper went from 290 pounds when he turned himself into the federal prison to weighing 190 pounds when he left. Fans throughout the world couldn't believe that was really Gucci Mane. Some really kept saying he was a clone. Not only was his body different, but Gucci had new veneer teeth and was speaking properly. Not the usual slur that fans were used to and grew to love. That same year, Gucci Mane married Keisha Dior, in which he proposed to her during an Atlantic Hawks basketball game. Fans in an uproar with the narrative that he really was a clone because everyone thought Gucci was hard on these women. During the time, Gucci had an impersonator that was trying to capitalize off his success.
Show who it is. Show who it is. Hold on. Hold on. Gucci. Gucci. Oh. Gucci. Oh. Okay. Back up, you gonna pick the camera. Oh, you gonna pick the camera back up. CJ. How many splits can you do at one? Oh, 2, 3, oh, 4. Don't bust them jeans. 6. Oh, this a wrestler. Then 7. That's enough. 10. So that's enough. That's enough. 10. Oh, that's enough.
Gucci denied the claims and explained exactly how he lost the weight. He claims his diet was a lot cleaner. During the interview, he says, I ate squash, which I never ate before, along with zucchini. I eat a lot of cashews, peanuts, bananas, apples, and I love salmon and chicken. He said that in the interview. I try to eat very clean, and I drink about 120 to 130 ounces of water a day. I mark everything I eat on a chart so I can keep track of my daily intake. Now, as of March 2024, Gucci hasn't been arrested since the year of 2014. It's a complete 180. From somebody who said he loved jail and loved prison, all it took was a little bit of act right and a woman on his side to keep him in straight and narrow.
Yeah, that boy Gucci was on some other shit, my boy. That boy Gucci, man, was on some other shit. But it's good, though. He done shook back. You feel me? He done got his mind right. So that's what count. Back to the money. You feel me? And plus, no matter what they say about his wife, she held him down. So you gotta praise that. You gotta praise that. That's what I'm doing.
A year ago, Green Bay beat Dallas, a 7th round pick. Green Bay was. That doesn't happen today. Well, you know what? I'm desperate for a win. So I'm going to take out Green Bay.
Let's go, Green Bay.
I thought you were going to say you're desperate for a win. I know it, but I need to.
Need you to pull through, Green Bay.
Running a small business isn't easy.
I need to see the big picture of my business finances.
Don't worry, we've been listening.
I used to guard Drake for a long time, 6 years.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, so it was like I was kind of in the right place at the right time, and we had mutual people we knew, and I just kind of got asked to come around.
Cool.
And then it just took off from there, and I was with him for, like I said, 6 years, and then that's what it is. So.
What did you take from that experience of like being around someone like that?
To be honest, work ethic.
Yeah.
Like I thought I had work ethic, like, and I do, and I'm I guess people, if you ask them about me, like I do work hard. I don't really take days off, and I just kind of like grind all the time. But like to see a guy at that level, like to watch this person go out like night after night, especially on tours, and like perform, like it's like robotic, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like in a very positive way, not like in a negative way. It's just like it's like ingrained, this showmanship, and like this person that this person becomes on stage, and like how they perform is like it's dead on show to show. Like you could probably run the shows overlapping each other and it would look the same. Like there's that much consistency to it, right? And you'd figure like someone that's doing that kind of work would have an off night, or like have like You know what I mean?
One day off.
And I'm literally standing in front of the stage, so I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I'm not up there. I don't, thank God. But like I'm watching this person do this every night, and it's just like to see the looks on these faces and to like understand like that level of work ethic and that level of consistency is like, it's pretty wild to see when you're in person, right?
It's really cool how it kind of came full circle, and now he works out with you. You know, like that's cool.
He's always been a very supportive person of my life. He's always like supported me no matter what. Even when I was working with him, I've had different stuff going on or whatever, but he is just he's a really good dude.
Stand-up guy. Yeah. Everyone that we've had in front of us that has some connection with him, working relationship, whatever, has pretty much said the same thing.
Yeah, it's not even just him. It's like everybody around him is like I consider family. So like these are guys that I work with him because I was with him all the time, but like you spend time around a lot of other people too who are in the crew, and guys like Chubbs and all these guys, like they're like family to me, right? So
what is it like traveling, like, because you said 6 years all over, you know, North America, I'm sure Europe, everywhere. Like what's that lifestyle like for you even?
It was cool.
Yeah. But not exhausting in a way.
You don't really notice it because you're kind of you're living it, so you don't take a step back and be like, oh, I'm like, and you're working, right? It's not like I'm on vacation, so I can like, oh, let's do this and we can do this today. It's like, no, I'm working wherever I go, and I'm moving and just moving the same but in different locations, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, but
shout out to everybody got me locked in on Twitch and YouTube. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitch.
Like places like Australia, I went to twice. That was like that was awesome. I love Australia. And like just different places in Europe, I probably would never have gone if I didn't do that job. Like Paris and shit like that. It's like I would have never been there in my life. And like Rocks, do you guys know Rocks?
Yeah.
Rocks is like, I invited the Milk Boys guys, and I'm like, all right, like there's fucking 400 people. Literally slammed against the gate. Like it was pandemonium. And they're like, can you get them in? I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
It was like there. It was fucking. It's a small town, dude. So I mean, I was just going to studying business there, and fucking just had a lot of free time, dude. So much free time.
Watch out for them today. This is old school toughness in the trenches, baby. It's playing football. I'm fired up. Billy fans are fired up. Let's go.
What just happened here?
Are you considering starting your own syndication or investment fund? Let's break down the essentials to get you launched. Once you've decided on the framework for your syndication or investment fund, and you know the assets you'll be putting them into, the next step is going to be
Now, for Drake and DJ Academics, the amount of failure, embarrassment, and humiliation these two have managed to amass together is really unlike anything else in not just hip-hop, but all of music history. And even despite redefining what losing looks like through all of the lows we have already seen, if you thought everything we have been unfortunate enough to witness so far from the most pathetic rapper and media personality in the game was enough, well, I got news for you, because with their most recent controversy, it is somehow the worst yet, because after Drake and Academics were getting exposed for straight up lying to everyone and their reputations had never been more in question because of it, the response Ack had to this to try and defend both him and Drake has really put their careers in a place where beyond rap beef or even just being a personality within the public eye in general, in the near future, everything we know about them may just be taken away within a fashion that we have never seen before. Because with what Academics just said about Drake and his personal life, which he is saying is fact in his own words, while I don't think he realized this in the moment, he may have just made every piece of speculation about who Drake is behind closed doors really true. And now, before we get any further into this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And so now with Drake and DJ Academics, it's really wild to me how after Drake was trying to say that he is going to move forward with his career in 2025 and that he's no longer going to be caught up in all of the drama that he has not been able to escape, in his own words, that he's now leaning further than he ever has into letting this beef and his failure in it take over his entire personality and brand. As instead of just doing anything to strengthen his image or reputation, He is trying to take down everyone's name with him. And so now after Drake and Academics were both in trouble because Drake had some DMs get leaked and exposed, which were showing him trying to play victim about the current situation he is in with his label and against Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us record. And he ended up tying LeBron and his wife Savannah into things with this weird analogy, which once again shows how Drake loves bringing people's families into the center of all of his controversy. After Drake was so embarrassed from having the public see how delusional he is about this entire situation that then he made DJ Academics come out and say these messages were fake and that Ac heard this directly from Drake himself. But then these two were quickly proven to be straight out lying, as the person who was on the other end of these messages posted the entire thread and therefore embarrassed Drake even more. As Drake and Ac were getting dragged for trying to deceive everyone so badly that even their own audiences were getting frustrated with them. Ac seemingly went on stream to clear the air about this entire controversy, and as he said throughout one of the craziest streams he has ever done, try to prove that he has journalistic integrity and that he would never push false information, which in of itself, before we even go any further, is an absolute joke, because Ac has always pushed so much false info and narratives over the years to try and benefit his own ideals regardless of the truth. But now, in one of the most emotional and erratic times we have seen Ac on camera, which of course for his standards is saying a lot, he went into these DMs, and while Ac did go on to admit that he and Drake did lie and that these DMs were in fact real, in the process of him doing this, which again, to say anything slightly against Drake must have been scary for him considering how Ac has tied the entire success of his career and brand to supporting him, Ac said some of the wildest things he ever has on camera. Which, from having to try and defend his own honor, reputation, and credibility by saying that he is not in any sort of relationship with Drake, which again, just slowing things down and processing how strange of a place we are at. The fact that Ac had to go on a camera and say this shows just how far gone and how pathetic this entire corner of the hip-hop world really is in of itself. But later, as Ac went on to do what he's best for here, which is go on long emotional tangents where his thoughts get less and less clear to the point where after a while you can't even follow a fraction of what he is saying, he did reach a point where after rambling for so long, he finally started to make a little too much sense, and he went on to talk about Drake and LeBron James, which of course Drake's mention of LeBron and his wife in these messages was one of the main reasons why this entire controversy got the attention of so many people in the first place. And when trying to clear the air and really just tell us what's actually going on between Drake and LeBron, as ever since Drake released his new freestyle, the beef between these two has been reaching a more publicized point than it has ever been. Ac went on to say and seemingly reveal that he knows Drake had a bond with LeBron that nobody else quite had with him, as they kept a ton of secrets together that for Bron, according to Ac, if we all knew, would change his entire image. And as Ac was saying that because of the fact that LeBron has now chose Kendrick's side in their beef over Drake, Drake is now going to let more and more loose about the truths nobody else has ever exposed about Bron. And while saying this, when trying to help Drake and give him some credibility by diverting the controversy on LeBron, Ac went on to say that the claims Drake made about LeBron not being loyal to his wife are not just true, but that when LeBron used to hang out with Drake pretty much any time, or when he was at away games playing the Raptors, which of course meant he was in Drake's hometown, LeBron would go over to Drake. And to say the least about this strange situation, there were women and then some strange activities that Kendrick Lamar did indeed rap about on Meet the Grams during the beef would go down. And as Ac used the words when describing what Drake did to help out Bron, like supply and facilitate, which when you piece together tell you everything you need to know about what he was getting at.
Are you ready to take your content to the next level? Going live on TikTok isn't just fun, it's a game changer.
All together, while Ac was trying to expose LeBron here and alter his public image. First off, as this is a conversation and a moment that was all about Ac's credibility in the first place, as Ac is the one saying this, and at the end of the day, nobody takes this guy seriously, it has done nothing to actually affect LeBron one bit. But for Drake, and let's remember, beyond everything else, Ac is a guy who does speak to him on a regular basis, and before this moment was just publicly representing his word, and while it wasn't the actual truth what he was saying, it was still the message that Drake wanted to send out and have be perceived as reality. All in all, when you put all of the context of this situation together, Ac is telling the world that while a good portion of people believe some of Kendrick Lamar's lyrics about the horrible lifestyle Drake surrounds himself in was a stretch, or even that Kendrick was taking things too far altogether, if what Ac is saying is half true, and again, to lie this much about Drake from him is just not in his character. Well, then he just admitted to the world that Drake really should be looked into because what he is doing is not normal. And really, in the grand picture of what he is saying, Ack admitted that the lyrics and disses Kendrick had going Drake's way are bigger than just rap beef. Because what Ack is admitting by saying that Drake was setting these strange meetings up for Bron, and there was of course a lot involved going into it, of course, to not have any of this come out until someone who was trying to use this information to take down LeBron is using it. Well, this isn't just strange and something that people like me and you look down on, but at most places, and again, to just say the very least, this is not allowed, and if what Drake was doing is even proven to be the slightest bit true, more than Drake's career being over, his entire reputation would be looked at differently, not just as a rapper or a musician. But beyond all the petty antics that has made his downfall as a celebrity so terrible, Drake would be joining the list that only the worst type of people can be on. And really, what's so ironic about this situation is that in this time where Drake's team and stans have wanted to connect people like Kendrick to horrible individuals to try and make his image look terrible, all this time beyond Drake himself, just based on Academics' own words, the OVO rapper is the actual person who he has been trying to call out everyone else for being this whole time. And I mean, for both Drake and Ack at this point, how do you make such a mistake to let this happen? Because really, the optics of this entire strategy are just terrible, because while Ack was trying to help Drake here, he of course just dragged his entire name into levels of controversy that again is way beyond any of the stuff he has already been in. And while again, these claims Ack are making are so bold that nobody really can conclude anything from a stream of his alone, when you do just gather some basic context. If we remember that in Drake's official claims against his label, he did list Ack as a direct source to prove what he is saying to be a fact, well then using this same logic for his fans and everyone who is trying to cover this up, how can Ack's voice not be equally meaningful and truthful here? As again, as this is all coming from a source that is as affiliated with Drake as you pretty much can be. It's just so strange how something like this can be said. But honestly, as these disses that only make Drake and his team look worse have been something that he has been doing to try and take a win against anyone he has had beef with since the Hard Part 6 really, in a way, it should not be as surprising as it seems, but going forward, while again, this absolutely insane claim is only really making everyone have more questions about Drake, Ack, what's really going on behind the scenes, and what they are trying to achieve by letting information out like this in the first place, what I think is clear from this is that with the nonstop annoyance LeBron has been getting now from Drake and all of his affiliates and stans ever since the release of this new freestyle from him, I mean, at the very least, LeBron is not just happy with the decision he made to get away from the most pathetic rapper in the game, but he is probably livid with the way his name is now being dragged into so much controversy within a manner that he has never seen over the course of his near 25 years of being one of the biggest stars in the world. And as after all of the years and all of the moments LeBron has had throughout his career, as it is now taken getting dragged down with Drake, to have someone who has been as good as they can be in the type of position he is receive the type of claims he is. It just shows how bitter everything around Drake really is and how much of a problem he just causes at this point by doing anything, because instead of moving forward and trying to just release good music or do one thing positive, Drake's entire persona is based around negativity and taking other people down. And if we are seeing this now from Drake, I'm sure this is only going to get a lot worse in the future as people he has beef with are only continuing to win more and more. And beyond this, if these claims that Academics said are further looked into and any of it comes true, well then Drake and Ack's entire reputation and the information they have withheld from us is about to not just end their careers, but it will ruin whatever legacy they have had left as well. And so now with all this said, let me know, what do you think about these wild claims Academics has made about Drake and Bron, and do you think there is any truth behind these claims, and do you think anything is going to happen from here at this point? Now I can't wait to hear what you have to say, and if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton. And now if you want to see how Drake and Ack got caught lying to us in the worst way possible, and that's what's caused them to reach this point where their careers are now on the line more than they ever have in the first place, check out the suggested video.
Let's see what Brad Allen has. After hearing the play, the ball on the Bills' hand. The special teams for the Eagles and Michael Clay, their coordinator, making a big play to start. And now great field position to start for the offense. As Jalen Hurts back in the playoffs again for the fourth time in his career. They start this drive from the Green Bay 28 with Saquon Barkley in the backfield. The rush for over 2,000 yards. The player ever do.
What's going on? What's going on, people? What's up? What up? Hope everything is well with everybody. Who y'all like? Philadelphia or Green Bay? Who y'all got your money on? Philadelphia or Green Bay?
So here is Jalen Hurts. You heard Aaron tell you about it. Look, it's been a minute, Tom. Aaron mentioned the rust, right? First of all, he's had a great last 2/3 of the season. But is there a rust as a quarterback when you haven't had live reps in 3 weeks? Absolutely. I'd be worried about that if I were the Philly coaches throwing about 4 passes in about a month. So how he starts early and get him into the game is very important. They certainly want to start it with some high percentage throws on the depth. Dave Smith in addition starts on second down. His first touchdown as an Eagle comes in playoffs. Got so much time to throw. Like I said, you got the most dominant offensive line in football. The Packers are trying to be very conscious and not running by Jalen Hurts because he's so dangerous under the punch. So they keep in the pocket, and then John Johnson sitting there in the back of the end zone. We talked about making his first touchdown reception of the game. What a start for the Eagles. 6-point from Elliott is up and good. So special teams forcing the fumble with a big hit from the former Packer Oren Burks. Off the all-pro Nixon, they recover, they score, got it in 7-0 Philadelphia.
AWS knows NFL fans are obsessed with every single detail. That's why we power Next Gen Stats. We give fans more. More good luck catching him. Or define expectations. More, oh yeah, for more stats NFL fans love. Ooh, don't overthink it. A large one-topping pizza is only $9.99.
3 different crusts, any topping.
Get the go-to that never gets old. Get a large one-topping pizza.
A Grammy Award-winning rapper accused of orchestrating a murder-for-hire plot to kill another rapper in retaliation for his longtime friend's murder gets another setback in his case. Durk Banks, better known by his stage name Lil Durk, has been behind bars since October, accused of being the mastermind behind a plot to kill Georgia rapper Quando Rondo, whose real name is Taekwon Bowman. Quando Rondo, along with his sister and cousin, were ambushed and shot at in Los Angeles, California in August of 2022. While Quando Rondo and his sister survived the attack, his cousin was murdered in the hail of gunfire. But that case goes back further than that, as prosecutors say it all stemmed from a 2020 shooting that left another rapper, who was also the close friend and frequent collaborator of Lil Durk, dead. According to Lil Durk's federal indictment, prosecutors say on November 6 of 2020, a man named DB, who was a high-ranking member of Lil Durk's Only the Family, or OTF, and the friend of Lil Durk, got into a fight with another person identified in the indictment as TB. The indictment says an associate of TB pulled out a gun and shot DB multiple times, killing him. Now, the indictment doesn't have the full names of TB or DB, but the circumstances match the November 6, 2020 shooting death of rapper King Von, whose real name is Davon Bennett. And of course, we know Quando Rondo's real name to be Taekwon Bowman. So where does Lil Durk come into play here? Well, federal prosecutors say after King Von's murder, Lil Durk wanted revenge. According to the indictment, Banks made clear in coded language that he would pay a bounty to anyone who took part in killing Quando Rondo for his role in King Von's murder. That all came to a head nearly 2 years later on August 18th of 2022, when Banks, his alleged co-conspirators, and co-defendants tracked down Quando Rondo to Los Angeles. The indictment names Banks' co-defendants as Kevon London Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Keith Jones,
Hold on. Before you pay for yet another app to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connect Team, the one platform.
The Dirt was on a rampage, and Dirt was out to knock off anybody, break bread, do whatever. He was gonna get back.
August 18th of 2022, after the men learned where Quando Rondo was in LA, at the direction of Lil Durk, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, Houston, and another co-conspirator traveled from Chicago to Los Angeles to murder Quando Rondo. Meanwhile, Lil Durk and Kevon Grant traveled on a private jet from Miami to LA allegedly to help coordinate the murder. That same day, Banks allegedly texted co-conspirator 3, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." But the feds say that same co-conspirator purchased the plane tickets using an OTF credit card. The unnamed co-conspirator 3 also allegedly confirmed to DeAndre Wilson through text that Wilson, Jones, and Lindsay had the same airline ticket confirmation. And Wilson messaged a friend on Instagram saying, "On my way to LA." From there, Kevon Grant allegedly purchased 4 black ski masks from a sporting goods store, but used cash to pay. But seemingly messed up when he allegedly used another OTF credit card to rent a hotel for the co-conspirators. Prosecutors say after Grant met with the co-conspirators, he gave Keith Jones, David Lindsay, and another unnamed co-conspirator firearms, including a firearm that was modified to operate as a machine gun. From there, Grant allegedly provided 2 cars for himself, Lindsay, Wilson, Jones, Houston, and another co-conspirator to find and kill Quando Rondo. The following day, using a BMW and Infiniti allegedly rented by Grant, the men tracked down Quando Rondo first to a marijuana dispensary, then to a clothing store. But it would be an LA gas station that would be the site of the deadly crime. According to the indictment, Officer Houston drove the Infiniti to an alley behind the Beverly gas station, then parked the car so Jones, Lindsay, and unnamed co-conspirator 2 could attempt to murder Quando Rondo. Prosecutors say the men shot at Quando Rondo's car, but ended up killing his cousin, who was standing next to Quando's car. Then the men fled and went to a local burger joint to discuss payment. The same day Quando's cousin was killed, prosecutors say an OTF credit card was used to purchase plane tickets from San Diego back to Chicago for Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, Houston, and co-conspirator 2. Fast forward to October of 2024, prosecutors say Lil Durk allegedly tried to flee the United States and booked plane tickets to several different countries, including Italy, Switzerland, and Dubai, but didn't board the plane for any of the flights. Instead, he was arrested near Miami International Airport. And even though Lil Durk isn't accused of pulling the trigger, he faces the same charges as the other men, including 1 count of conspiracy, 1 count of use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death, and 1 count of using, carrying, and discharging firearms in a machine gun and possession of such firearms in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death, all of which he pleaded not guilty to. Surprisingly, his trial was slated for January 7th, just 3 months after his arrest, but that date was pushed back to October 14th of this year. It all comes weeks after an unsealed affidavit filed by an FBI agent alleged Lil Durk was involved in another murder for hire plot. That affidavit reportedly cites texts and social media posts from 2 people discussing the payment from Lil Durk for the 2022 murder of 24-year-old Stephon Mack, who was alleged to be a Gangster Disciples leader. The agent alleges Lil Durk was offering money for people to kill those responsible for his brother's murder. Lil Durk hasn't been criminally charged for that alleged murder for hire plot. However, prosecutors did use that affidavit as evidence to get Lil Durk's request for bail denied, and he, as well as his co-defendants, remain behind bars since their respective arrests. But all of them are facing a hefty sentence, the rest of their life in prison, if convicted. So much to unpack. So let's bring on now criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Safa Robinson Ferrer. Safa, it's always great to see you. First I have to ask your reaction to this whole case. Lil Durk is a Grammy Award-winning artist, but federal prosecutors allege that he's this mastermind behind the plot to kill Quando Rondo in retaliation for his friend King Von's death. What are your thoughts about this case overall?
it's not surprising to see an indictment come about as a result of that. I think that there have been rumors and talks in the industry for years with regard to Lil Durk and his position with respect to his friend King Von's death and anything that may have been retaliatory in nature. So this is not the first time that I'm hearing of these alleged acts as an attorney, but this is certainly the first time that we now have an indictment alleging these specific acts against him. And what we've seen, in more recent times is that law enforcement is going after individuals who are high-profile individuals or celebrities and rappers in essentially prosecuting them. We saw that in the Young Thug case. We see that in this case now. We see that in the Sean Diddy Combs case. So we're seeing this a lot more frequently as of lately.
Yeah, and reading through this federal indictment against Lil Durk, it seems like there's a lot of evidence stacked against him, from the text messages to the use of credit cards and other kind of trails of evidence. What do you make of that, given if you are going to orchestrate something terrible like this, that you might try a little harder to kind of cover your tracks?
They say cash is king. When you use electronics and you use credit cards.
Really, my first idea was in 1/4 of an hour, your savings will sleep. It's not catchy, is it? And it's not going to swim back your brain. So I thought, what about 15 minutes, 15%?
Most homeowners think they can only access their home equity by selling, but there's a simpler way with Splitero. It's a
2020 shooting and death of rapper King Von.
Available. So two.
Like, who would ever want to leave this?
Are you using your home address for business, but know it's hurting your brand image? At iPostal One, we can help.
Available. So two things happened in the Durk case. They pushed back the Durk case. Before, it was tentatively scheduled for January. So his trial should have been started this month, which, come on, no one's going to be prepared for that. So they pushed it back to later this year. And what's happening now in the status hearings is that they're preparing to give Durk and his team discovery. Now, the discovery that he's going to be getting is going to be all the information about what they have on Durk. This is going to be very important. It's going to tell Durk's team how to prepare, how to maneuver, and shit. If they could do any, rabbit in a hat tricks to try to get whoever is cooperating to not cooperate, maybe they could do it now. But they got to turn over all the evidence to Durk. And according to the feds, they're saying that they have voluminous amount of information and data. I think they said terabytes of data, and also they have just so much stuff in terms of like investigation and material where they they interrogated witnesses. So listen to this real quick. I'll be back in give me a minute.
Accused of orchestrating a murder for hire plot to kill another rapper in retaliation for his longtime friend's murder, gets another setback in his case. Durk Banks, better known by his stage name Lil Durk, has been behind bars since October, accused of being the mastermind behind a plot to kill Georgia rapper Quando Rondo, whose real name is Taekwon Bowman. Quando Rondo, along with his sister and cousin, were ambushed and shot at in Los Angeles, California in August of 2022. While Quando Rondo and his sister survived the attack, his cousin was murdered in the hail of gunfire. But that case goes back further than that, as prosecutors say it all stemmed from a 2020 shooting that left another rapper, who was also the close friend and frequent collaborator of Lil Durk, dead. According to Lil Durk's federal indictment, prosecutors say on November 6 of 2020, a man named DB, who was a high-ranking member of Lil Durk's Only the Family, or OTF, and the friend of Lil Durk, got into a fight with another person identified in the indictment as TB. The indictment says an associate of TB pulled out a gun and shot DB multiple times, killing him. Now, the indictment doesn't have the full names of TB or DB, but the circumstances match the November 6, 2020 shooting death of rapper King Von, whose real name is Davon Bennett. And of course, we know Quando Rondo's real name to be Taekwon Bowman. So where does Lil Durk come into play here? Well, federal prosecutors say after King Von's murder, Lil Durk wanted revenge. According to the indictment, Banks made clear in coded language that he would pay a bounty to anyone who took part in killing Quando Rondo for his role in King Von's murder. That all came to a head nearly 2 years later on August 18th of 2022, when Banks, his alleged co-conspirators, and co-defendants tracked down Quando Rondo to Los Angeles. The indictment names Banks' co-defendants as Kevon London Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Bryan Lindsay, and Asa Houston. Prosecutors say on August 18th of 2022, after the men learned where Quando Rondo was in LA, at the direction of Lil Durk, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, Houston, and another co-conspirator traveled from Chicago to Los Angeles to murder Quando Rondo. Meanwhile, Lil Durk and Kevon Grant traveled on a private jet from Miami to LA allegedly to help coordinate the murder. That same day, Banks allegedly texted co-conspirator 3, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." But the feds say that same co-conspirator purchased the plane tickets using an OTF credit card. The unnamed co-conspirator 3 also allegedly confirmed to DeAndre Wilson through text that Wilson, Jones, and Lindsay had the same airline ticket confirmation. And Wilson messaged a friend on Instagram saying, "On my way to LA." From there, Kevon Grant allegedly purchased 4 black ski masks from a sporting goods store, but used cash to pay. But seemingly messed up when he allegedly used another...
Are you ready to take your
Let's
content
go,
to the
Green
next
Day.
level? Going live on TikTok isn't just fun. It's a game changer.
Did they give the update on they probably didn't, right? Hold on.
Hearing of these alleged acts.
Attorney and former prosecutor Safa Robinson Ferrer orchestrates something terrible like this, that you might try a little harder to kind of cover your tracks.
They say cash is king. You know, when you use electronics and you use credit cards and things of that nature, you're leaving a paper trail all the time. You know, even when you use social media, you may.
All right, sorry, chat. There was just doing a lot of chatting there. Okay, so this is what the feds are coming with, right? They're saying they have 230 gigabytes and about 20,000 pages of evidence against Durk and his co-defendants. And they're saying that it includes audio and video recordings and witness statements. Okay. Now it says the government is in process of producing discovery to the defense. So this is what Durk is going to get, which includes, among other things, approximately 230 gigabytes of digital evidence, such as audio/video recordings and surveillance footage, and approximately 20,000 pages of reports concerning murder and other violent acts.
Shit.
For photographs, witness statements, and medical documents. So that's what they're going to be providing to Durk and his team. What's going to be interesting, if you ask me, is going to be the digital evidence, not necessarily surveillance, but it's going to probably be, hey, this is an interview we did with confidential informant, this guy or this woman, and those people are implicating you. Those people are saying that they had a conversation with you and you told them you'll pay them $40,000 to kill somebody. That's going to be important. And I think that's where Durk is going to figure out for the first time, yo, these are the people who have you dead to rights of you being in this murder for hire, right? They're the one who's going to be eventually, when you get to a trial, they're going to be sitting up on a, you know, they're going to be testifying and say, no, Durk told me to book the flights for these guys to go kill them, right? So it would, for me, what matters is going to be, it's not going to be the surveillance footage. It's going to be interviews. All these interviews, and also maybe any wiretap info that these guys have on Durk. So we'll see. We'll see. But apparently it's a lot of discovery, which hold on a second. It's a lot of discovery. However, if it's ever a time that he's going to know who's telling on him, is going to be now, right? So, for example, if they have a wiretap, they have to provide it, right? if they don't turn over these things, what will happen is there's a potential, what we always, and I think we've just talked enough, like, criminal investigatory stuff, is there's a possible Brady violation, which means if you're not turning over, who knows, say it's OTF Jam. We're not saying he's a snitch, but let's say him, right? Say he did an interview and he said, nah, Durk did tell me to go kill blah, blah, blah. But then he said, nah, but he was joking though. He never really meant it. You got to turn over the whole interview. That at least Durk and his team to say, yeah, OTF Jam said I told him to go kill somebody, but then he later said in him interview, I was joking. So what are you talking about? So again, all of this is going to be really important in them gathering evidence to figure out what Durk, what could be proved against Durk in court. And I don't know, man. It's going to be kind of like very iffy. Anyway, okay. All right. The important thing that I wanted to get to is this FS1 Rico. Oh my God. Hold on 1 second, chat. Let me pull up this FS1 Rico. This is great. It's not even a Rico, it's a Frico. Hold on. Oh, I got it. Is it this? Mm-mm. Okay. Okay, got it. All right, perfect. All right, I'm gonna give you a little bit of. I gotta go get Pluto. That nigga's upstairs, just chilling. I'm the only one.
HoneyBook completely changed how I do business. I'm a photographer, an independent business. It's a fact. Running.
Play across the 40. And he's going to pick up 3.5. Hey, play today's Fox Super 6 free play game. Download the Fox Sports app right now. Get it for free for a chance to win your share of $10,000 in 10 prizes. One other aspect of losing Jenkins is this is a very run-oriented offense, but they run inside a lot. And they're running behind a guy who's a very good blocker. So all of a sudden, you bring in Travis Glover, and he's already adjusted. Although with Ford adjusted, we'll see. Short game again, maybe two. And to your point on Glover, he's played 13 snaps this year for rookie, right? So here you go, playoff game against the number one team in the league. Right now, it seems to work that way. Go all week. You got your whole plan set up. Got great continuity, the offensive line all year. 2 series into the game, everything changes. Welcome to playoff football. Tackle in college. Here comes Smith. This thing, terrible concept there. Right tackle Tom, and you end up giving Smith an inside move. That's called a quick pressure. Watch Tom, you're just overset, and then Smith's right to the middle of the pocket. When you're a quarterback and they get to the middle of the pocket, you're basically at zero chance. Even more love, you even look at his second read. He's running out of the pocket.
Get rid of that shit, man.
I'm gonna give you a quick 3-minute video of what's
place where executives and talent were allowed to physically and verbally abuse workers with impunity. When Ms. Faraji and others came forward to report the wrongdoing, instead of addressing their concerns, Fox retaliated against them while the perpetrators and those who protected them were inexplicably promoted. This case thus represents yet another in a long line of cases chronicling the toxic culture at Fox, marked by bad faith promises and repeated failures to address a poisonous and entrenched patriarchy. Now, you might be saying this and saying, I'm not a sports fan. I have no idea who we're talking about. That's okay. We're going to give you a rundown about who the defendants are in this case and other major players as well. So we want to give you a quick rundown of this. We're going to first dive into what Faraji accuses them of. So Faraji is suing Fox Corporation, Fox Sports, Fox Sports 1 and 2, often known as FS1 and FS2, and Fox Sports Production. And as well, she is also suing Charlie Dixon, Skip Bayless, and Joy Taylor. First, we'll start with Charlie Dixon. Charlie Dixon is the executive vice president of content for Fox Sports 1. And by the way, that's apparently Fox's flagship multi-sport national network. And he is responsible for overseeing the content and production for the network and has the authority to make decisions about employees. Skip Bayless is a renowned, albeit controversial, sports commentator who's worked in print, radio, television for decades. He's worked as a commentator with Stephen A. Smith on ESPN2's show First Take. This is before he debuted his own show with Shannon Sharp called Skip and Shannon Undisputed. This was on Fox Sports 1 in 2016. And that, by the way, is where he worked with Nushin Faraji, who was part of the styling team for the network. And by the way, in 2021, the New York Post reported that Bayless had signed a $32 million contract with Fox. It's important when we talk about his wealth a little bit later. All right, now before we go any further, I have to talk to you guys about something. This is huge for me. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this, but there is a grooming line called Brickle. I've been using it, talking about it for years. They are now our sponsor here on Sidebar. I am so excited to share this with you. So I've been using their incredible products for almost...
All right, man. Long. This is a hell of a story, Chad. I ain't gonna lie to you.
The entire offensive line is down the field, but into the defense. They want 70 yards into the defensive scrimmage.
Oh, here we go. I want to bring up the girl. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, chat. Let me try to bring this up to you. So, first of all, so at FS1, like many corporate buildings, we're getting to realize it's a bunch of freak off type of activities going on. Okay. Now, let me introduce a few people. So this chick right here, her name is Nashin. I don't know really know how to speak her name like fully, but her first name is like Faraji, and I think well, actually that's her last name, but Nashin is her first name. Now, what I'm gonna tell y'all, the story is gonna be coupled by this lawsuit here that was filed in the Superior Court of the state of California. Now, Nashin Faraji is actually suing Fox. Okay. She's suing Skip Bayless, she's suing Joy Taylor, and she's suing a nigga named Charlie Dixon.
I've been suing every fucking body.
We're gonna get into everybody who is being sued. Now, what she's suing for is a bunch of reasons, okay? Failure to pay minimum wages, pay overtime, reimburse business expenses, blah, blah, blah. Then so there's a class action complaint, and then she has which by the way, this is interesting because a class action law complaint usually includes other, plaintiffs, but, other people could join in if they want to just get at Fox for a shakedown. But the individual complaint is going to say sexual battery, hostile work environment, via sex and gender, then via race and national origin, then disability, and blah, 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 blah. Now, let me show you some of these people and we try to explain it, and then we'll get into what the heck is going on. All right? So, at Fox Sports, what essentially, if you watch, sports commentary or whatever, we know that Skip Bayless left First Take at ESPN, went to Fox, and started up, who was a big part of FS1 starting up, but he started Undisputed, right? When he started Undisputed, one of the people that ended up being one of the big hosts, or at least the moderator, was someone named Joy Taylor, which she's pictured here. The person who's suing is the person here. She's a hairstylist. So she is involved in hair and makeup on these bigger shows. They would hire these people for hair and makeup. She would do the hairstyle of the female host and maybe do, there's white people. So like, a girl could cut your hair if you're white. You know what I mean? A black man would never let a white woman cut her hair, but whatever. Anyway, she probably, cosmetology degree. She knows how to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, get your makeup, all that type of stuff good for camera. Now, she's the one suing. Now, what she's suing, it's a little odd because she's more exposing than really suing. Now, she's probably still going to get a bag a little bit, but all she told us with her lawsuit is that this woman here is the one who could really sue. Let me explain. Joy Taylor, and according to Nushin Faraji, which is her, she's saying that this chick, Joy, fucked her way to the top. Okay? She found out the guys who made the decisions within Fox, and she supposedly slept with her. Now, this is being alleged through the lawsuit. She's saying that Joy basically almost told her this and damn near almost advised her to do the same, except she wouldn't. She then later goes on to say the person who wanted to fuck her really badly was Skip Bayless, who even went as far to say, I'll give you $1.5 million to get a little bit of that little sniff of that pussy. But she turned it down, and then eventually Skip started hating her because Skip thought she was fucking Shannon Sharp. Okay? Shannon, she said she never fucked Shannon. She ended up losing her job, and a whole lot of fuckery has ensued. So let's bring it back to square one. Y'all ready? Check this out. So Joy Taylor, and if you've wondered, I'm going by the allegations here. I'm going by the lawsuit. I don't want to read through everything because I want to keep it interesting. It's a 42-page lawsuit. I can read through everything and make it make sense to y'all, but I want to shorten this that you could get some semblance of a storytelling with this. So Joy Taylor, according to this hairdresser, she said, hey, she's one of the original group or one of the original staff at FS1 when Skip went over. So Skip went over and Skip started getting his people that he wanted to work on Undisputed. FS1 was kind of new, fledgling upstart in terms of now trying to affect the mainstream media in sports, and Skip could throw around his weight. She was hired as one of the people who did hair. Okay, now she said she noticed really quickly that Joy Taylor was one of them chicks who fucks to get a promotion. Why? She said Joy Taylor had no real experience in broadcasting or even being on TV to this capacity. She was a bartender in Brickell. She was in Miami, just being a bartender. And essentially, she did go to school for like some type of journalism, and she wanted to expand her career, so she went out to LA. Joy Taylor was allegedly married. She had a man, okay? She had a husband, actually. She was married. When she went out to LA, she left her husband. So you know how that goes. Husband had left in Miami, you in LA. Joy has the knack of finding the powerful man that makes the decisions in whatever field she's in. And let's put it like this. She know how to get it in with that person to make sure she gets what she wants. So they're saying that she left her husband in Miami. Remember, she was a bartender and a radio host, but was like a really low-level radio host. She goes to Miami, she goes to LA, leaves her husband behind, and says, how could I make it up in this FS1, hierarchy? She says, let me find a nigga that's making the decisions. You know who's making the decisions? It was a nigga named Charlie Dixon, FS1. And yes, this nigga looks weird as shit. This is him, okay? This was the guy that was the head of content, making all the decisions at FS1. All of these shows This guy, he was the EVP of content, which is the executive vice president of content. So he get to pick who was going to be on First Things First, something speak, the herd, whatever. And apparently Joy said, fuck all of that. I know how to get the job that I need. I'm just going to suck his dick. Okay, so this is all being alleged. I want to keep you all like in the loop. But according to the hairstylist, Joy, who was married, goes to LA, starts schmoozing around, realize this guy makes a decision, sucks the soul out of this nigga. Ruby Rose ain't got nothing on goddamn Joy Taylor, okay? Sucks him into oblivion, okay? And essentially he says, I gotta put you on Skip's new show, which is called Undisputed. Now, I'm telling you the story here. We could read all this in the lawsuit, but I want to make it entertaining for y'all. So apparently, she's sucking his dick so good that he said, I got to give you a job. Oh, you want that job? I'm going to give you a job. You're going to be the moderator. Remember, this is just a bartender. She ain't really got that experience like that. She don't got that resume like that. But that dick sucking is too good for a nigga that look like he already got.
That's Jason Taylor's sister, bro. What do you mean? Oh no, the moderator was Jason Taylor's sister. The makeup and wardrobe, she's the bartender.
One eye bigger than the other. He says, I'll give you whatever you want. She wants to be on the biggest show. This dude supposedly tells Skip, yo, Skip, you got to make her the moderator. Remember, Skip just came over from ESPN. He's the big dog. Yo, whoa. What you mean this stripper? Not stripper. I mean, this bartender got to be the main chick. I don't want her on my show. Skip didn't want Joy Taylor at first. She's sucking this nigga's dick so good. I mean, oh my God. Listen, the way they describe Joy Taylor's mouth, she's sucking.
Yeah, Joy Taylor.
They're saying she could suck a fucking blow pop through a straw. You feel me? And they said that this guy who's getting sucked off by Joy says to Skip, do me a favor. I know you don't want her, but just do it for me. Leave her as the moderator on the show. So her sucking off this guy, he asked a favor of Skip, please put Joy on the show. Joy gets on the show, people. Yes, everything I'm telling you is all in document. As I said, if y'all want me to read y'all the lawsuit, y'all will see every detail I'm telling you. I read the whole thing through. This shit was thoroughly entertaining. Okay, so bet. Now, she said at first she didn't understand the type of hoe that Joy Taylor was. What does that mean? She said she knew Joy Taylor was married. She said she ain't know Joy Taylor was fucking this guy until certain things became very apparent. What does that mean, people? She said every time she would go hang out late with Joy, this guy would show up late or later. He would come through with an FS1 credit card, buy mad drinks, and every night when this happened, he said this guy kept flexing, yo, I got the Fox credit card and all of this shit is on Fox. That's number one. But number two, every time when the night was winding down, when Joy disappeared, he disappeared. Or they would just flat out leave together. Essentially, the hairstylist who was becoming cool with Joy because she's now doing Joy's hair is realizing Joy is sucking off this nigga right here. Okay? He's coming through with a credit card, buying a bunch of drinks, She's gonna go fuck him. Bet. Okay? Now, if you want to talk about nasty work, chat, nasty work, okay? And I know some of y'all gonna be like, nah, no, like you're gassing this. This story ain't that good. No, it is. It's really good. Now, of course, the person suing, which is this girl back here, as I said, this is the hairstylist. She said she wasn't with that freakatron shit. She said she even warned Joy to say, Joy, you sure you want to be sucking off the boss? You sure you want to do that? And Joy was like, that's how you got to get it done. You got to suck the boss's dick if you really want to get in that shit. She was hesitant. By the way, she got a kid and she was single. Joy was just sucking and fucking. Then what she accuses Joy of doing is this. Joy gets so bold. And one in the chat, if you know a chick that's like this. She said Joy eventually invites her husband from Miami. Remember her husband stayed in Miami? So she went out there sucking and fucking. Her husband stayed in Miami. Her husband came from Miami. And one time she invited her husband to show up to a dinner with the nigga she's sucking and fucking, which is this guy, while he brought his wife. So he was married too. They were both married. And apparently Joy's husband realized, like, wait, yo, Joy, something don't sound right. That nigga is fucking you. And Joy breaks up with her husband. Don't believe me. Call me a liar. Call me a liar. Look. So March 2016, it says Miss Taylor told Faraji she was recently wed, but her husband stayed in Miami. Did I say that? Let's keep it going. Look, this is where the husband finds out that Joy is sucking and fucking the boss. Look, Mr. Taylor, no, Mr. Bayless disclosed he ain't want Faraji on the show. No, disclosed to Miss Faraji. He ain't want Joy on the show. But Mr. Dixon was adamant. You know, Mr. Dixon is this dude right here. Right here. Big boy right here. This guy. Right? He said, yo, Skip, do me a favor. Put her on the show. He said Mr. Dixon arranged a dinner between Mr. Bells and Miss Taylor where she arrived in provocative clothing and acted in a provocative manner. When that didn't change Mr. Bell's opinion of Miss Taylor, Mr. Dixon asked him to approve of her as a favor for him. Reluctantly, Skip agreed to do a favor for his friend. Around 2016, Ms. Faraji, so the person who's suing the hairstylist attended a dinner with Mr. Taylor, Miss Taylor, Joy, and her husband, and Mr. Dixon and his wife. During the dinner, Mrs. Taylor's husband became suspicious that Joy and Mr. Dixon was having a sexual relationship. Soon after the dinner, Mrs. Taylor's husband found evidence of the inappropriate relationship and divorced Mrs. Taylor. So basically, Joy Taylor's husband went to dinner and said, oh, something ain't right here. You fucking your boss. Turns out she was, allegedly, right? Cool. Let me keep telling y'all the story. So bet. So now Joy lost her husband, right? Joy is now single. Joy is throwing the pussy 1,000,000 miles per hour to a nigga that looked like this. And she's now the host or the moderator for Skip's new show. Now, Skip, you got to imagine, is thinking, yo, I'm the big dog around here. If anybody getting the pussy, it's got to be me. How this little corny executive nigga get in the box and I'm not getting the box? But that's what's happening. So bet Skip, who's 79, about start kind of using his own leverage. Like, yo, hold on, man. How you fucking that nigga, but you ain't fucking me? Now, this is where it gets interesting, Chad. Apparently, so apparently Skip, and I'm gonna call a little bit of cap in the story, and so I'm gonna tell you the story how I think it really went down, more than just the allegations, because the allegations just make Skip looks like complete like a creep, because it's then said that, you know, Skip doesn't really, it's not really said that Skip goes after Joy, but it says that Skip goes after the hairstylist. Now, if you ask me, I don't think he just only wanted to smash the hairstylist. I think Skip, I actually don't believe her at all. I think Skip was having a problem with control. Skip had the entire staff hired because it was his show. And then Shannon Sharp comes in. And when Shannon Sharp comes in, Shannon Sharp talks to them more. If you ever seen when Shannon Sharp ever left FS1. He's hugging everybody. He does a whole video where he walks through and hug everybody. That's not Skip. Skip is super work. He's not a friendly guy like that. So Shannon Sharp is loved by all the people in the back. Now, if you ask me, so she's suing Skip to say Skip offered her $1.5 million for sex. I don't believe that for a second. What I personally believe is that Skip started to think that this woman who was an original hiree on his show was starting to pick his ops, which is Shannon Sharp at the time. Skip and Shannon fell out. So Skip is looking like, yo, I got all y'all jobs. Remember, I'm the reason why the show exists. So when me and Shannon not seeing eye to eye, y'all all got to fuck with me. Y'all can't fuck with him. And he's starting to realize some people like Shannon. Shannon's a cool guy. And I don't think he was trying to fuck this chick. I think he was more trying to use his leverage as, bro, I gave you your job. Now, I'm jumping ahead of myself, and I guess like I got to bring up the lawsuit in a sense, because this woman is convinced that Skip offered her $1.5 million. I don't believe that for a second. I think Skip was upset at her because there was a point where Skip keeps saying to her, yo, you're fucking Shannon. And of course, in a woman's mind, she's like, oh, no, you care if I'm fucking Shannon Sharp because you want to fuck me. No, Skip is a work guy, bro. Like, I'm not saying he's not a man who wants to fuck women, but it's like, I think he was looking at it to say, if you're fucking my enemy, like, Skip is thinking of this like Game of Thrones. Yo, why are you fucking Shannon Sharp? I'm trying to get the whole company to get this bitch ass black ass nigga out of here. You get what I'm saying? So he started getting upset. So he keeps grilling her. Are you fucking Shannon? But she's taking it as, oh, you think I'm fucking Shannon because you want to fuck me. I really just don't believe that. I think he was beefing with Shannon, and he's looking like, I got all y'all jobs. I hope y'all not switching on me for Shannon. You know what I'm saying? That makes more sense to me. Like, who the fuck offers $1.5 million for pussy? Come on, bro. Like, even Skip Bell's not doing that, bro. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I could read it to y'all. I'm gonna read it to y'all in the lawsuit. So let me just end the whole escapades with Joy first. So Joy smashes allegedly this guy who is the EVP of content to essentially get on Skip's show. Right? Then she smashes another dude named Emmanuel. Sorry, FS1. Because she wanted to get on another show. Now, the Emmanuel dude is this black dude in the back right here. Right? So she supposedly smashes him. Right? This guy right here. She fucks him. And what ends up happening is that the hairstylist who's following this whole lawsuit, she stops Joy one time and says, Joy, don't you think you shouldn't fuck two niggas that work at the same company? And basically Joy, allegedly being the hoe she is like, yo, bitch, shut up, man. I fuck everybody. What the fuck is you talking about? I'll show you that in the lawsuit. This is kind of crazy. The new name is Emmanuel. Okay, look. She used her sexuality again to get on the show. Approximately 2020, they asked me for lunch. When Miss Faraji arrived as a hairstylist, she found Miss Taylor with a man, Mr. Acho, Emmanuel Acho. And Faraji didn't know Mr. Acho, but could tell that they were romantically involved. A few months after meeting Acho at lunch, Miss Faraji noticed him in the hallway at work. Faraji then later asked Miss Taylor if Acho also worked at Fox. Miss Taylor says yes, he worked at Fox, and said that she wanted Acho to recommend her for a show called Speak for Yourself. Miss Faraji became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that she probably should not sleep with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Acho at the same time, as Mr. Dixon's a very powerful man and may become angry if Miss Taylor and became angry. Miss Taylor told her, don't worry about it. She explained that she was also now powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would follow through on her plan to tell him to become company that he had forced. So basically, she's saying that Joy Taylor had planned to let the company know that it was a Me Too situation, so they would have fired Mr. Dixon, that she could keep sleeping with this Acho guy and keep getting more shows, which is kind of crazy, but whatever. She would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like any other woman talent. Okay. In 2022, she started working on Speak for Yourself, and Miss Taylor requested Faraji to do her hair. So, yeah. So if you look at it, Joy Taylor, Dixon, Acho. So the two dudes she was fucking at the same time that worked at the same company was these two. So she don't discriminate. She fucked this bug-eyed looking nigga right here, and then she was fucking this nigga right here. Allegedly. We don't know if it's true. Okay. By the way, then there was a video that this Acho nigga made that he later deleted, but this was it because people found it. Check this out.
Just got done with rehearsal for the new show Speak, and I got to take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor. A woman, a black woman, daily show, sports. Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in? So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we don't even care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you, and hope y'all tune in. 4:30 to 6 East.
Okay, he was slanging dick, allegedly, all right? According to the lawsuit, right? So Joy is smashing like two dudes, allegedly, right? So he's smashing two dudes. Apparently, we don't know, but we don't know if she was fucking Skip. But apparently Skip, he comes in because he wanted to smash the hairstylist, right? So he really wanted the hairstylist, which let's see if we can find her shit again. Oh yeah. So Skip was smashing the hairstylist. Or no, he wanted to smash the hairstylist. It actually says Skip didn't fuck anybody. But yeah, and then apparently this is the hairstylist right here. Right? So what was said, and now let me read through this a little bit to give you a little bit more details. This is where it says Skip was going crazy, right? All right. It says, over the years, Mr. Bayless continued to make advances towards Miss Faraji, aka lingering hugs, kisses on the cheek, inappropriate comments that he could change her life if she acquiesced to having sex. Miss Faraji would always make excuses regarding her son, politely change the subject or make a joke, anything to keep Mr. Bayless appeased and her job safe. Remember, she's the hairstylist. Skip could really say, I don't need this hairstylist anymore. She's fired. So that's what she's going on the guise of that. In 2021 of July, Ms. Faraji developed issues with her left ovary, and it was advised that it could be cancerous. With the fourth biopsy schedule, she explained her situation to Ms. Bayless, hoping that he would take pity on her and cease his advances. Instead, he told her he wanted to be with her. She panicked and began rambling that there were cameras everywhere and that she had a child and that she doesn't want it. Mr. Bayless grabbed her hands, began kissing them, and offered her $1.5 million to have sex. She then made an excuse to leave. Approximately 1 week later, he made another advance at her. She responded, Skip, stop. Don't you have a wife? Skip then responded, ain't you Muslim? Don't your dad got like 3 or 4 wives? And Miss Faraji responded that her father was dead. And when Mr. Bayless looked taken aback, she made an excuse to leave. Supposedly her job was threatened because she wouldn't sleep with him. April 2022, Bayless texted her that she's good today. The text meant he would not be coming in for hair or makeup. Now, this is where I use some deductive reasoning, and I really don't believe this woman at all, truth be told. I believe that Skip was having a problem because he thought his inner team was fucking with Shannon Sharp, look. So he texted the hairstylist, I'm good today. He said the text means he wouldn't be coming in for hair. And then Skip then texted her, I'm not comfortable coming down there. Keep in mind, Shannon also gets his hair done or his makeup done down there too. He says, just do what you need to do. It's okay. Farazi asked him what's wrong. That was a little bit off to me. I'm going to tell you why it's off to me. If you're saying that Skip is harassing you trying to fuck, if he says he doesn't want to come downstairs and you're working on his co-worker or workers, Joy and Shannon, why are you prodding and saying, oh, what's wrong? It seemed like you do want him to come downstairs. Remember you saying he's harassing you trying to fuck. He replied, same stuff, worse. Now that tells me, I'm reading between the lines. Yo, he's not talking about her. He's talking about Shannon. Same stuff, worse. Miss Farazi, concerned about her own job, walks into Bayless' own fitting room. So you're saying he's harassing you, but you walk to him. Bayless answered the door before she could speak and began angrily accusing her of fucking Shannon Sharp. Right? Yes. I don't think it's because he wanted to smash her. I think he was like, yo, you're rocking with the ops. Miss Farazi tried to explain that she didn't have any feelings towards Shannon and never slept with him or any other talent member or employee at Fox. See, bro, he cared about Shannon. And that's why I really believe that. I don't think that, like, I'm not saying he didn't want to smash her, but I really think that he was wondering if this woman that he got her job was smashing Shannon, which is his op. Look, she says she never smashed Shannon or any other employee at Fox, but before she could speak, Mr. Bayless demanded he come to his car after the show. Ms. Farazi responded that she could not come sit in the car as it was inappropriate. He grew irate, then left. Then on this day, Bayless texted her, if you're distracted tomorrow, I'll wait till Monday, but I can't keep doing this. Ms. Farazi told him that she was very confused. Mr. Bayless responded, trust me, I'm far more confused. Ms. Farazi then explained over text that she's not sleeping with Shannon Sharp. And Mr. Bayless didn't respond. On the next day, he texted her, he said, do you still want to do the haircut or just move on? Ms. Farazi responded that she doesn't want to move on from her job and she will continue doing this hair. The next day, Mr. Bayless called Ms. Farazi. She didn't answer. She said she was scared. She then called back 10 minutes later. On the call, Bayless again angrily accused her of fucking Shannon Sharp, which he said he could tell from her body language that she was fucking him. Ms. Farazi then explained that she was kind to all talented and included laughing and engaging in conversation. She then asked if he was yelling at her because he refused to go to her car. He said that she shouldn't talk to him like that. Ms. Farazi replied that she could respond however she wanted. Skip then angrily stated that he heard her talk to Shannon Sharp about her vagina. Ms. Farazi knew this to be untrue and embarrassed and angry. He then responded that even if she'd been dating Shannon Sharp, which she wasn't, it shouldn't matter at all because she only had a professional relationship with Bayless. Then the next day came and she arrived in the makeup room and she turned on a recording device, put it on the table, waited for Skip to arrive. In the meanwhile, two of Farazi's co-workers who were privy to Bayless's actions went into other talent members' rooms adjacent to the makeup room to listen to the conversation. Skip arrived in the makeup room for her to cut his hair with his regular schedule. Bayless said he knew the makeup room was always recorded and clearly states this room is bugged. During their conversation, Mr. Bayless stated that he would hate for her to lose her job, but she can't be doing a big thing with his arch rival. That kind of further suggests to me that he cared more about her having sex with Shannon Sharp because they were beefing. She responded by reiterating that she's polite to Shannon Sharp as part of her job. Mr. Bayless said, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on you. It's my turn now. So Skip Bayless then warned her that he doesn't want her to lose her job over this. Ms. Farazi responded that she wasn't going to lose her job because she's a great hairdresser. Skip then says, I have love for you. I've for 6 years and you hurt me and you're ruining this. And even further reason why I think that Skip is talking about, yo, I think you're smashing my op. Ms. Farazi again responded that she must be polite to all talent. Mr. Bayless then implied that if he stopped requesting her, it would affect her job. She responded that she's scheduled to work every morning at 5:45, and if he would like to get his hair done, he's welcome to sit in her chair. She would continue to threaten her job. Then, and she knew that he was trying to pressure. See, I think this is bullshit. Knew he was trying to pressure her into having sex with her, but she kept repeating that she was professional and that she was into all, that she had to be kind to all talent. Mr. Bales asked her if he would come to his home to color his hair, a side job that Miss Faraji previously would partake in. When his wife was home on this occasion with the therapist's help, she conveyed that she would no longer be going to his home. The following week, Mr. Bayless arrived in the makeup room as if their conversation never happened, but Miss Faraji remained on edge. She had worse than nightmares and okay. Yeah, I think it's a lot of BS, if you really ask me. I think Skip had a problem with Shannon, and this was a woman who he felt was a part of his inner circle or his team, because she worked there for 6 years prior to him even get there. And she felt offended that she feel like he was kind of like either playing the 50 or he was like trying to